So let's get into a brief overview of what October CMS is, its difference and similarities with Laravel, and what we'll be doing in this course. So let's first tackle what October CMS is. October CMS is a content management platform used for rapid application development. Say, for example, with Laravel, you install a Laravel project, and all you are given to work with from the get-go is a welcome view. And then you are free to manipulate the project in any way you see fit, with any approach you see fit. With October CMS, however, because of its rapid application development approach, you are not given something to work with from scratch. You are given a pre-built or pre-made project that was done by the October team. What you will be doing is creating sub-projects within that pre-made project called plugins. That will definitely increase the development process and really help you focus on making stuff fast and usable. Because it's also a content management system, October CMS has the advantage of already having a file system or a media manager for you to upload and download files. Whereas with Laravel, you have to create this from scratch. It's not available in Laravel from the get-go. So that is what October CMS is in a nutshell. It is based on Laravel. Almost anything you can do in Laravel, you can do it quicker in October CMS. Because of the different approaches, one is moderate and the other is rapid. Because of Laravel's approach of you can create anything from any approach, from any way you want to, it will be a moderate pace development process. It's much more flexible because you are given room to do whatever you want with the project, however you want it with the project. With October CMS, it's less flexible than Laravel because of its content management system and because it's a project that's already been pre-made. You have less of you can do whatever you want approach and more of you need to create fast and scalable apps to work now. It's very lightweight, allowing you to add only things you see as necessary, and this has to do with the project files. With Laravel, you're given a lot of files from the get-go because all the features are available to you from the start. With October CMS, all those features that Laravel has are not available to you from the start. You have to add them to your project. So you add the features that you see as necessary to your project when you come across a particular point in your development process or in your developing your apps and you see that, oh, it's missing this. Let me just add this from Laravel. Setup is easy and straightforward. All you need is XAMPP and Composer to set up a development environment. And even installing this on a live server or a Linux server is very simple and straightforward. Migration of data is simple and convenient. Yes, that applies to both Laravel and October CMS, but they both have different ways of migrating data. So now let's tackle the differences and similarities between Laravel and October CMS. They both have Eloquent, which is great. I love Eloquent. And it's just a way to control and manipulate your data. It's Laravel's key features. And the fact that October CMS has it is great in my book. Laravel is heavy, and that has to do with the files. October CMS is lightweight, and that has to do with the files you get. Migration is simple. Migration is simpler and faster. So migration is simple for Laravel. It's not difficult. Migration is simple and faster for October CMS in the sense that because of its structure of being a content management system and because it's catered to rapid application development, your migrations here will be structured differently from a migration here. So this migration will cater to a system-wide process, and this migration will cater to a plugin-wide process. So you can migrate all your stuff here, all database tables in one go here. And for here, you can do something similar to that, but it's focused more on migrating your sub-projects or plugins. So it's not focused on migrating all your data at the same time. But you can technically do that here, whereas you can do that here as well. But the structure, the flow is migrating sub-projects, not migrating the entire project. Has blade templating, has twig templating. The blade templating will be the upheaval to Laravel developers migrating from Laravel to October CMS because of twig. Twig and blade have very different structures. So if you're a seasoned Laravel developer, it will not be such a jarring experience. But if you are someone who is just getting into Laravel and decided to go into October CMS, this will be a very, very jarring experience for you. It might be very difficult to adjust, and you might just quit your October CMS transition altogether because of twig. But if you can get through this, it's very simple to use. It's very convenient, especially with the fact that we're creating miniature projects in a big project. This helps tremendously in making fast applications. So Laravel has a complex structure. This has to do with the files. October CMS has a simple structure. This has to do with the files. Now, I say it's a simple structure now. It can get complex later on because it's only a simple structure from the get-go. You can add Laravel's features in here to make it as complex as an ordinary Laravel project. Use every available feature approach. Use what you need approach. That has to do with the files as well. And this has to do with the files as well. You are given everything from the get-go. You are given what you need from the get-go. You can get everything if you put everything in there yourself. Modern application development, rapid application development. I've already explained this one, so I don't think we're going to cover this in detail. It's just you have a big project. So you have a big project. You develop everything from scratch. And so your approach will be very moderate compared to you have a smaller project. There is a project pre-made for you. And all you're doing is creating miniature projects. So it'll be rapid. Next is what we're going to be covering in this course. So what we will be doing, we're going to be getting our development environment ready. That means we're going to be getting our XAMPP ready, and we're going to be getting our composer ready. It doesn't necessarily have to be XAMPP. You can use WAMP or MAMP, or even what's that other one for October? Laravel. I had forgotten, but you can use any kind of development environment for your websites. It'll work just fine. Composer is a necessity. You need that to install Laravel, because installing Laravel without Composer, it's impossible now. You could do it. You could have done it before a few years back, but they decided to go for the Composer approach. That's the only approach to install Laravel. October CMS. Backend development, we'll be tackling that in very, very big detail because it's very important that you get an understanding of how plugins work, how Twig works, how components work, how the database migration and controls work, how customizing the backend works. We're going to be tackling this in very, very, very big detail. It's going to be a very detailed part. And then front-end development, not as detailed as the back-end development, because whatever you do in the back-end, when you come to the front end, it's mostly displaying data. Of course, there are instances where you would want users to input data so that the data can be saved into the back-end. But those instances will be far in between. We will cover them, but they will be far and in between. So in the front-end development, we'll be tackling the marketplace. The marketplace is a place for you to download extensions such as plugins and themes for you to help your development process go even faster than what October CMS offers from the get-go. We'll be tackling Twig again because Twig in the front end is a bit different than Twig in the back end. We'll be tackling components again in the front end because they are also a bit different than components in the back end. Then we'll be tackling our general JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. The reason why I said HTML is because October CMS only recognizes HTML files. It does not recognize an HTML extension to the file. But it doesn't mean you can't do HTML code on an HTML file. That's the entire reason why I dashed this. So that is it from me. That is it for this video. This is a brief overview of what we're going to be doing and just what October CMS is. And in the next video, we are going to be tackling getting our development environment ready. And then in subsequent videos, we will be tackling the actual development process of a project so that you can get familiar very quickly with October CMS, see the convenience, see how fast you can create stuff, and yeah, just fall in love with this thing. So that's it from me for this video. See you in the next one.